Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3XL podcast. My name is Ray. You can find me on social media over on Twitter and on Twitch at RAY200123. Alongside me, as always, the co-host of the 3XL podcast, D. D, how's it going? How's your Sunday going?
I'm going good. I'm going good, man. Glad we finally get to do a recap. It's been a while.
Yeah, apologies. I wanted to do the recap a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, my new work schedule was hammering me, but we're doing this 1 week later after SummerSlam on August, let's say the 11th.
Something like
Um,
that.
but yeah, overall, a lot of things we wanted to recap. I did want to give as far as the star ratings, the times, follow ups as far as storylines, and also injury news. But do have that all ready for you guys. But we'll start with the first match of the night. I do want to say, as far as SummerSlam overall was a decent show.
Yeah,
It was 4 hours long. I thought it was enjoyable. Not their
I
best
enjoyed
PLL,
it.
but say again.
That's what I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was good overall. Although halfway, like to the end part, I think me and you were probably getting a little too hammered, and we had to rewatch our shit. But
Yeah,
anyways, we'll start off with the first match that I do recall. We had for the Raw Women's Title, Liv Morgan going against Rhea Ripley. Going into as far as the match, out first we had Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom, followed by Liv Morgan, the current Raw Women's Champion. We had a feeling that a turn would be coming, but I think I know exactly when exactly Dom made up his mind as far as with the graphic I have currently right now with Liv Morgan kind of doing a splits. And my God, she looked good. Going into it, Rhea Ripley for the most part dominated the match. However, going into it further, Rhea would actually injure her shoulder after getting drop kicked into the corner turnbuckle. Rhea would then later on, fast forwarding, would put her in. I guess she kind of put her
they
shoulder
kind of
back
said,
in.
yeah, it seemed like they said she dislocated it and then she popped it back in on the announce table and again on the turnbuckle,
Yeah, and I
which
think
did
she.
kind of make her look badass.
Yeah, it did kind of like it was slightly out of place. It looked weird, so I wasn't sure if she was working the injury or it actually legit popped out. But good on her doing the best Mel Gibson impersonation from Lethal Weapon. But later on, as you said, I think she did as far as put it back into shoulder into place. I think she growled at Liv Morgan, telling her, "Come on, bitch!" And then she went. I can't recall when exactly she did it, but she grabbed the chair. She was ready to use the chair on Liv Morgan. She attempts to use the chair on Liv, but before Dom would prevent her from using it. As crazy as it sounds, Dom was actually trying to prevent Rhea from getting disqualified, so he actually was the most sensible person here. And I think Rhea realized that
Yeah.
pretty much she would get disqualified. She came to her senses. However, Liv would, as far as use that the distraction, she would drop kick Rhea into Dom, using her finisher on Rhea. There was a false finish, but Rhea would kick out. Dom would later, as far as slide a chair while distracting the ref or pulling the ref, but Liv would use the chair herself onto Rhea to do as far as her finisher and get the victory. While she got the pinfall, Dom was you could see him smiling as Liv was announced the winner. Dom would later, as far as help Liv up to her feet, and then there was a collective groan from the crowd as the turn was complete and the two kissed. You can see then later Liv or a livid Rhea Ripley was shown as she is still processing what just happened. So we have as far as Liv wins via pin, via as far as Dom turning on Rhea Ripley. The match went 15 minutes and 55 seconds. Meltzer would give the rating a 3.5 star. Uh, it was an okay match. I thought it was a little bit better than 3.5. I thought it was well done, well executed, but the heat on Dominic is unbelievable. What did you think about this match?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I did like how they brought back what he did when she went against Becky to win the championship. I thought that was very interesting. For sliding the chair into the ring and having her do Oblivion on
Mm-hmm.
the chair. I thought that was a good touch. I thought that we all knew that Dom was going to turn on Rhea. It was just something that it seemed like it was just coming. He seemed like he was going to turn, and you knew it had to happen at some point, and this was the perfect time to do it. And I think that the match overall was a good match. I love how strong they made Rhea look. Well, I mean, she always looks strong, so that's not like a big deal. But I think that, Liv also had a good showing, but they really made Rhea look strong. The whole popping her shoulder in and then just continuing to dominate Liv. Even in the beginning, when Liv would run out the ring and and Rhea would chase her around, I just loved the whole psychology of the match.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ending was good. I thought it was a good match overall. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it was a good callback to when Dom was trying to get as far as Liv to lose the title, but everyone thought that he was trying to help Rhea try to win as far as the title, but obviously the term was incoming. I mean, overall, I think, and they did a good job as far as expressing that Liv didn't see this coming. She was actually surprised that Dom was actually lifting her up and didn't know exactly what he was going to do, and then he finally went in for the kiss, and then all the haters started groaning. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how they tried to swerve us when he was telling Rhea that she would get disqualified and wouldn't win the championship if she used a chair. Because at that point, you kind of like, well, is he trying to keep her from, losing the match? Well, not winning the championship. I thought that was an interesting little touch that they put on that. Because even I was like, is he trying to protect her? Like, but once he slid the chair in the ring, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, here we go. Massive heat on Dom.
Oh yeah, but they did a great job. This overall angle was done well because it played back into WrestleMania when Rhea got hurt by just going into the wall and she had a shoulder injury. But WWE does a better job of continuing storylines where AEW does a horrendous job of just pausing the storyline and picking up from where they left off. But kudos to WWE being better at booking as far as injury angles and continuing the storylines. Another match that will come into play that they kind of do the same thing as well. But I have nothing else to add. If you want to ask anything else,
just a good match overall.
Good match for sure. Next match, not so much. We had as far as for the WWE Intercontinental Title, Braun Breaker against Sami Zayn. Man, honestly, I thought this was kind of a waste of time. It was not necessary in my opinion because Braun was a heavy favorite again, especially as far as with. I guess we'll go to the finish. Braun goes for as far as the spear with Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner in attendance. Braun would win via pinfall. This felt like an absolute waste of time in my opinion. The match only went 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Meltzer gave it 2.5 stars. I would have gave it a 0 in my opinion because Braun should have won previously on the last PLE, but I have nothing to add. But other than that, let's just go ahead and strap the rocket to Braun Breaker. How'd you feel about this match?
I thought that he should have won at Money in the Bank, so I was kind of whatever on it. I didn't think that there was much to this match. This is one of those times when I think that a low rating for Meltzer is very much deserved because the match didn't need to take place. He should have just won earlier. He was a heavy favorite. He dominated Sammy. I don't know what they were trying to prove. You had Sammy have a decent run just to have Braun Breaker do what he should have did the first time. And not only did he do what he should have done the first time, which was a better match overall, but he, like I said, he just completely dominated Sammy. Sammy didn't even look like a champion in this match. So I still don't understand why they didn't have Braun Breaker win the first time and just, go with it. But overall, I'm happy that he won. If that's anything.
Yeah, I'm happy as far as for the Steiners. I prefer. I mean, Braun Breaker is an okay name. I prefer Rex Steiner. I think that's a cooler name. But the former Baltimore Raven trainee, or Hopeful Canada as far as Raven. I was really excited when he was in training camp with the Ravens years ago. But I'm happy. I think he'll excel more and do better in WWE. But I think this is the beginning for Braun Breaker, and I think he'll be probably pushed to the top, maybe in a year or two.
Yeah, probably. Okay. I wouldn't. That's a definite. Yeah. That's a definite.
The guy's impressive. He's an impressive athlete. But anything else you want to add to this match, or anything else?
No, I just love his spear. I love how he catches all that speed and then hits him like that's a spear.
For the Big Bad Booty Day Jr. or whatever.
Yeah, his spear is like fucking amazing. I wouldn't want to get hit with that shit.
Hell no. But anyway, moving on to the next match. Next up, we have for the United States Championship, LA Knight going against the champion Logan Paul. LA Knight was a heavy favorite going into the match, but to start off the match, Paul would be accompanied by MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, for heat, I guess. Both local Cleveland Brown hometown people, but Logan Paul came out in the Browns gear, and I'm sure you were happy to see that.
Ecstatic.
But going into it, LA Knight would make his way out to ringside. He would actually start barking at the Logan Paul's crew. And I think MJ and Machine Gun Kelly would play a factor later on. I feel like I've already said this before in every Logan Paul match, but this guy just gets it. Like he is the perfect heel, and he's a great athlete. The guy is just fantastic. Like I don't know how he figured it out in a short amount of time, but I think this is his year 2, or this is like his 2-year anniversary.
Is it only 2 years?
Yeah, because you've seen him with Miz 2 years ago, I think, right?
Wow, I thought it was longer than that, but I can't. Don't get me to lying like I remember. I don't remember, but I thought it was. I thought he was like 3 or 4, not 4, but I thought he was at least 3 years in.
But the guy picked up a lot of things quickly, and
Yes, he has.
I do have as far as graphic of him doing an unbelievable moonsault from the inside of the ring to the outside, moonsault outside to the ring, and LA Knight caught him, but he still would have landed on his feet regardless. But there was his brutal spot, and I think I know what that I'm saying here, where Paul took a horrible
Oh, that
looking suplex
superplex.
that turned into a
Yeah,
brainbuster.
yeah, that was
Um,
bad. While we were watching it, I was just like, "Oh
yeah,
no!"
D lost his mind. He just like I heard him screaming. I think I was behind, and I finally found it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" He's lucky he didn't land on his freaking neck or break anything, but he didn't. Heading as far as into the finish, MGK or Machine Gun Kelly would hand Paul a chain necklace of brass knucks. This stupid looking chain. Paul would hit Knight but he would kick out. Knight would hit as far as the blunt force trauma for the end. LA Knight wins via pinfall. He is the new U.S. champion. It's a long time coming. He should have been champion a long time ago. The match did go 12 minutes. Rematch likely to occur because Logan Paul's foot was below the rope. Meltzer gave the match a 4-star rating. I thought it was a good match. The match had a lot of good heat. Great as far as win for LA Knight finally. But your thoughts on the match?
Well, I'm glad that LA Knight finally won, and they're doing something with him because I think that this is just way too long to have this man have this much build up with the crowd, this much heat and goodwill, and then you take so long to do anything with him. He should have had the title when Austin Theory had it, because he was hot then, and
Yeah.
you had Austin Theory who really didn't have a great run at all. That was the time I thought to put it on, LA Knight. But I thought that the match was good. I think you know how I feel about Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I know people don't like him, but I haven't watched his YouTube stuff to know why people hate him so bad. So for me, all I know is Logan Paul as a wrestler, and I think that he's actually very good. He's an awesome wrestler, and he's pretty decent on the mic. The Machine Gun Kelly stuff, I could have taken or left. I mean, that was whatever to me. I guess that was more for the Cleveland fans or the Machine Gun Kelly fans. For me, I didn't care.
I didn't know they
I
existed.
Yeah, but I was surprised. One thing I was surprised about was that LA Knight kicked out the way he did. Like, it seemed like the brass knucks didn't affect him at all.
Yeah, that was
And
weird, right? Like he was about to hook up or something.
yeah, yeah, like after all of this time, he's knocked so many people out with those brass knucks, and they've been so effective. LA Knight ate it, and then it was like he didn't even get affected. He hit him, he pinned him, he kicked out. Then he hit him with blunt force trauma, and it was just like, okay, so did the knucks not hurt this time? Were they fake knucks? What happened that LA Knight was able to just shrug it off so easily? But overall, I enjoyed the match. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with LA Knight as the champion. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Logan Paul. I wonder if he's going to take some time off, or if he's going to just go into another feud in which he doesn't have the title.
I think he did do a podcast with Undertaker, and he's actually gotten respect from his fellow peers in wrestling. But I think he's a fantastic heel. He's a
Oh
more
yeah,
natural heel. But oddly enough, on his podcast, he's a babyface. He's an absolute baby because he's still humble, and the wrestlers give him props, but he kind of says like, "Thank you, I'm still trying to learn." So he's still trying to, like, as far as get better and improve as an athlete. And I hope he stays healthy. I think he's a great heel. I think he brings something to the table for WWE. I think he's one of the very shining young stars for WWE.
facts.
But other than that, yeah, I'm happy. I'm hoping he comes back for Stardust because he's kind of part time ish, but I'm okay with him being that. He shouldn't be wrestling every week. I mean, he doesn't need to wrestle every week. He makes way too much money in my opinion, but still, the man puts his body on the line. Undertaker gave him props as far as on the day after when he did a podcast where I can't remember what the name of his podcast show is, but Undertaker did ask him like, "How are you feeling?" He's like, "I'm sore. I'm hurting, and I lost the title in my hometown. I got the WWE rub." That's what he said.
Yeah. Logan Paul is definitely he respects the business, and he
Yes, he
understands
does.
it, and I like him. I don't know about other people, but I know that he's one of my favorites for sure.
He is a fan. If anyone has not seen his reactions to WrestleMania 40, the main event, I mean, the guy was just marking out for pretty much all the finishes, but he's definitely a fan of wrestling for sure. So I do like him for that. Anything else you want to add?
No, it was just a good match
Good match,
overall.
good match for
Happy
sure.
for LA Knight.
Yes, happy for him for a long deserved. Like this should have been done a long time ago. But moving on to the next match. Next match, not so much. That was great. It was for the women's SmackDown title. We had Nia Jax going against Bayley. I believe Nia was a slight favorite for the match, but going into it, Nia pretty much dominated the match for the most part. I'm just gonna fast forward to the finish because there was nothing noteworthy. Bayley would make a slight comeback. I think she had a power bomb on Nia. Would make her way to the turnbuckle to go for the elbow drop. Out comes Tiffany Stratton with she ran out with her new briefcase available on WWE.shop.com for the cash in. Bayley would intercept the cash in and prevent her from cashing in. Nia would use that distraction to take down Bayley. Nia would proceed as far as the Yoko drop on Bayley and wins via pinfall. Match went 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Meltzer gave the match rating 2.5 stars. Honestly, I don't remember this match too well, but I know you have a couple takeaways from this match, other than from Nia, her transformation physically, as far as her appearance. I did notice she kind of lost a little bit of weight,
Yeah, it does look like she lost some weight. I noticed that.
but she did kind of rag on Baylor, telling her. I think I remember her telling you think I'm clumsy or something. I don't recall what happened there, but Nia is the winner here. She is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Any thoughts on this match?
I mean, it was a match. I didn't get into it. I thought that they were going to keep the title on Bailey and have Tiffany Stratton, cash in. But then when I realized that they gave her a new briefcase on SmackDown, it was like, shit, she's not cashing that in because WWE needs to make money off of selling those briefcases. So it was kind of I thought the match was okay. I just didn't expect Nia Jax to win. I don't see the point in putting it on Nia Jax. I don't know if you're trying to make her a baby face at some point, or Tiffany made the baby face after she cashes it in. They're supposed to have some kind of celebration come this SmackDown, I believe. Honestly, I don't know what they're doing with this. Bailey's run wasn't all that great anyway, so
Yeah, it was kind of lackluster, and
yeah,
they
kind
shied
of.
away from um what's the name of the group she was in?
Damage control.
Damage Control, and I think they're baby faces now. I don't get that group. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't really have much to say about this match. It
Okay.
just was a match.
Yeah, nothing else to add for me either. So I guess we'll move on to the next one. Next match we had was the grudge match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Going into it, I believe Drew was a slight favorite. Punk being a slight dog. Well, not much of a stipulation, but Seth Rollins was the supposed referee. But a clown referee appears. No, I'm sorry, that's actually Seth Rollins in his failed cosplay. All kidding aside, the crowd was hot for this match when it started. I actually felt it too. Like I was looking very much forward to this match because kudos to Drew McIntyre, who I believe really carried this angle and was just an absolute troll on social media, especially when CM Punk got hurt at the Rumble. And originally the plan was, I believe, Punk and Seth, but Drew kind of inserted himself into that angle as far as to kind of, I guess, continue the feud between him and Punk. And it was, I mean, great job for Drew. I'm happy for him as far as overall. I think he got paid, got a new contract extension. But the match I was looking forward to, getting back to that, it fizzled out though. Call as far as the match was sloppy. Call it rust on Punk's end, but fast forward as far as Seth. At first, he allowed Punk and Drew to kind of fight out. He avoided doing countouts, any disqualifications. However, once a chair was introduced, Drew would tell Seth to continue to turn the blind eye. Seth would, as far as then take the chair, decide to use it on Drew, but almost hits Punk and stops himself. Like, this is where it started getting weird. Drew at some point grabbed CM Punk's bracelet of his wife and his kid, Larry, the dog. Punk would put Drew up for the GTS, but then instead of going for the pin, he sees Seth with the bracelet and somehow that, I don't know how Seth got the bracelet from Drew. I don't recall when exactly he got it, but I know Drew had it at first, and then Seth got it. I guess he found it on the mat. I think Corey Graves said that. I'm thinking, who gives a shit about the bracelet? Seth is then knocked down to the outside by the ring by Drew. Punk hits the GTS, but the ref is down. The visual 3 is given as Punk makes his way back into the ring, only to hit the 2 count. Punk is irate as Seth is slow with the 3 count. Seth verbally bashes CM Punk's fragile ego, resulting in Punk giving Seth the GTS. Drew low blows Punk while Seth is down. Drew hits the Claymore on Punk. Seth makes a slow count and reluctantly hits the 3 count. Drew wins via pinfall, takes back the stupid bracelet from Punk. The match goes 17 minutes. Meltzer gave the match a 3-star. It kind of started hot. In the middle, it kind of went, it was there, and then it got picked up a little bit later because of because of the rust. But overall, it doesn't feel like this feud is over.
No.
Do we have a bracelet on the pole match incoming? But your thoughts on this?
I think it's funny that this all started with Drew McIntyre hurting Punk at the Royal Rumble, which, big surprise, Punk got hurt. But it evolved into a match about a bracelet, not a championship, not, him costing him the spot at WrestleMania, which I love my shirt, but
or the costing him at the Clash of the, or was it Clash of the Champions?
Yeah, when he won the championship from Seth Rollins, and then Damian Priest came in, cashed in. But that's not what this is about anymore. It's about a bracelet. And CM Punk gets his bracelet back, somehow loses the bracelet. Why Seth Rollins picked the bracelet up and put it on is beyond me. I have no fucking clue what happened there. It's just like, why? What? It's funny. I don't know how to feel about, the whole thing. I guess it was a reason for CM Punk, because to be fair to Seth Rollins, he was calling the match down the middle.
Yes.
He wasn't on anybody's side. He wasn't doing anything, suspect. There was no shenanigans at first. It all happened when CM Punk saw the bracelet on Seth Rollins' arm. And even then, why do you get all mad when you see it on Seth Rollins' arm? Like, why do you go irate at that? I don't get that part. I thought the match overall was pretty decent. Like you said, it was kind of sloppy. But when CM Punk is out for like 5 months, you expect it to be kind of sloppy. Or 6 months, however long he was out. You expect some rust. But at least Punk didn't get hurt. At least there's a positive. Yeah, just his ego. But physically, he can wrestle, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was decent. Like I said, it wasn't anything spectacular. And I'm sure that after giving Seth Rollins a GTS, there's going to be, a match between those two. Eventually, I see a triple threat match at some point.
I could. The reason I said this, the bracelet they're kind of playing into it, is because the following night, this is something that recently happened. Bronson Reed came on and just fucking 5-star frog splash Seth Rollins like what, 5 or 6 times?
He destroyed Seth. That was crazy.
Apparently that was done as an injury angle, so I don't think Seth is fully healed. So I think this is why they did this angle with the stupid bracelet to continue the feud. But I'm slightly over it, to be honest. I mean, I enjoyed the feud, but if they're gonna give us these type of matches, I'm not sure if I'm for it. But I mean, put fucking the bracelet on a ladder match or some shit to kind of make it more dicey. I don't know. But I mean, bring the dog too. I don't give a damn. But regardless, I really have nothing to add to this. It was an okay match. I'm kind of like in the middle. 3-star sounds fair to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the next match for the World Heavyweight Champion, and please, just hear me out on this. Gunther against the former Punishment Martinez, a.k.a. Damon Priest, b.k.a. bisexual Undertaker.
Only Ray's opinion. Only Ray's opinion.
But all kidding aside, this match was awesome. It felt like Priest was getting back at Gunther as if he was the one that gave him the bisexual Undertaker name. Because, man, he was chopping and hitting the hell out of him to the point where Gunther's chest was actually bleeding.
I was surprised at that.
I think I recall Alvarez talking about this, that him and Finn Balor, I didn't watch this match, but him and Finn Balor had a match on Monday. That kind of, because Gunther, I actually noticed it early on the match, he had spots on his chest. So I think that resulted in when Priest was chopping him that he started bleeding from the chest. But, yeah. fast forward to the match. Priest hits Gunther with the South of Heaven, rolls him too close to the ropes. Balor actually puts Gunther's leg on the rope, and for the first time ever, this actually surprised me. The babyface actually saw the replay to see Balor was when I turned on him as far as put the foot on the ropes.
I thought that was interesting
Yeah,
also.
interesting as well. But Gunther, as far as tries to put the sleeper on Priest, but Priest comes alive. Crowd rallies behind him. Bisexual Undertaker breaks off of the sleeper hold, goes for Finn Balor for some reason, like an idiot. Gunther then puts the sleeper on Priest, and Gunther submits Priest. Gunther is now the new heavyweight champion. Match would end up going 16 minutes 40 seconds. Meltzer gave this match a 4.25 star match. At the end of the night, Priest was the second member of the Judgment Day that was ousted for the night. Priest and Rhea Ripley. But your thoughts on the match?
Well, I like both wrestlers, so for me, it was a treat. It was a nice big man match. They didn't try to fight, any other kind of style. It was a very aggressive physical match, and it was what it was supposed to be. I did like that, like you said, Damian Priest saw in a replay Finn Balor put Gunther's foot on the rope, because I was surprised at that. They don't usually see that, and just his reaction to it was fantastic. Like, I will say that I think Damian Priest came a long way in with his title run. It wasn't the best title run. It wasn't the worst title run. It was just a decent title run. And I think that he came a long way within the span of having the title. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what happens with him and Rhea versus the Judgment Day at this point. It was just, I'm especially happy for Gunther.
Oh, yeah.
I am happy he's the champion after what he did with the Intercontinental Championship. I am excited to see what he does with the World Heavyweight Championship. I am very excited to see what he does with it. I think it's about to elevate this to the moon.
Probably. Yeah, I hope it's a long, like, they should have the belt on him for at least a year. Like, the guy should just absolutely crush people and have close matches. But I guess there was someone that said the person that should beat Cody is Gunther. And I think it's your guy Alex Pulaski, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm not sure though.
That'd be crazy if he was a double champion. That'd be impressive. But I don't think.
No, we don't need that again.
Yeah. So
we don't need that again. We just had that shit for 4 years. Let's not.
Well, anything else you want to add to this match?
No, I'm happy with it. It exceeded my expectations. I expected it to be a good match, but I didn't think that they were going to put on, like a damn near 5-star match, and they did. So I'm very happy, and I want to see where both guys go moving forward.
I will say this is for disclosure: the thoughts of Ray do not reflect those of the 3XO podcast. But happy to see bisexual Undertaker go move towards the babyface. Hopefully, it's a progressive run for him. Moving on to the next match, we have the main event for the Undisputed WWE Championship with Bloodline Rules. Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa. Cody was a heavy favorite, minus 5,000 favorite. Honestly, no one really thought Solo was winning this match. Everyone kind of had a feeling Roman would be as far as returning. So we'll fast forward as far as what happened at the end. So fast forward to the finish. The former Guerrillas of Destiny would show up, followed by Kevin Owens, a returning Kevin Owens, followed by old Randy Orton, who slow jogged his way to the ring and forced the.
Not to cut you off, but Randy is just in that I don't give a fuck stage. Like, if you just watch him move and wrestle, Randy is he didn't give a fuck back in the day. But he's really in that, whatever, bro. I'm old. Fuck this shit.
He was slow jogging to the ring, high-fiving fans. I don't know if you saw that shit.
Yes.
But Kevin Owens and Randy forced the god of the Guerrillas of Destiny out of the match. A wild Jacob Fatu would show up. Did do as far as, I think he did a frog splash of some sort to Cody onto the announce table.
Was it a frog splash or a moonsault?
I think he did some sort of splash, but I can't remember. But he did as far as start grabbing his leg in frustration. I think he was working the leg. Fatu would still tell Solo to finish the job. Cody and Solo would go back and forth, and both would lay down onto the mat. And to no surprise, Roman's music plays. The crowd lost its mind. It was so loud, the audio started becoming distorted.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, you were on with me. I kind of lost my mind too.
I mean, it was good to see.
I'm not even gonna front. I was banging on the table and everything when he showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was hyped.
he had the loudest pop of the night for sure. Roman would soon hit as far as Solo with the Superman punch. He would go work his way. He would make his way to the corner, set up for a spear, lays out Solo. He then goes. Roman will make his way back to the back, only to turn to face the ring and give the nod to Cody Rhodes. Cody acknowledges Roman as his tribal chief and pins Solo. Cody Rhodes wins via pinfall. Match would go 29 minutes and 10 seconds. Meltzer gave the match a 4-star rating. Um, Good finish to the night. Everyone kind of wanted. They were pretty much fans for weeks. Were begging for Roman to come back. This was the perfect time. It's nice to finally see Roman kind of go over with the crowd, especially with how much pushback he had from the fans years back.
Yes.
Um, but also, I'm happy for him overall because of the whole issue with cancer. Him as far as having to go back into remission, and then him being finally elevated as a heel to the point where the fans started finally appreciating the guy. So good for Roman. Happy for the fans that they got what they wanted. Cody is somewhat protected here because he gets a little assistance from Roman. I think going forward, we may have the new mega powers between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns going against Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. I think I see that now happening at Survivor Series with War Games. I think you might be right about the 4 versus 4 or 5 versus 5. But any thoughts on this match?
Well, I thought it was a good match. Solo is actually a lot better than I gave him credit for as far as in the ring. I thought that the bloodline interference was cool. You know, Tonga Loa just isn't. He ain't all that good.
He ain't him.
Tama Tonga's good,
Yes.
but Tonga Loa ain't. Yeah, I can go without seeing him in the ring. Jacob Fatu does what he does. I thought that he was great. Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. Randy Orton doesn't give a fuck. Um, then seeing Roman come out, like I said, I really popped hard to see Roman. I I liked him back in the day. So to see him finally get that crowd reaction that they've always wanted in the crowd to appreciate him, it's kind of like John Cena. Like I was never really I hate John Cena guy. I always thought that he didn't put enough people over, but I didn't have the same vitriol as the rest of the a lot of the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that it didn't take Roman. It took him a long enough. It took him what about 8 years before the crowd started to give him his due. But I'm happy that he's finally given him his due, and as they say, they acknowledge him. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this feud goes. I'm looking forward to seeing, how they incorporate Jimmy and Jay, and then the honorary Oos in Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where this goes. Like Cody Rhodes, he's another one who's having a lackluster, title reign to me. It's not doing it for me. But right here, this bloodline stuff, I'm very, very, very interested to see where we go with this.
Yeah, we'll see what. I'm not sure what route they're gonna go. Did they announce the next match for the Berlin match or the Berlin pay per view?
Well, I know it's going to be Cody versus Kevin Owens
Why?
because Cody said that Kevin Owens deserved it, and Kevin Owens
Oh,
kept saying that he didn't, and Solo wanted another. He wanted another shot, and Nick Aldis was going to give it to. I believe Nick Aldis was going to give it to him, and he said that there's a bunch of other people or Roman. He was going to give it to somebody. I think it was either Roman or Solo. I can't remember, but Kevin Owens was like, "You can go and look at anybody in the back who deserves it more." And Nick Aldis was like, "I'm looking at him right now," and Cody and Nick Aldis just chose Kevin Owens for the title.
that doesn't make
Which to
sense to
me,
me.
yeah, no, because even Kevin Owens was like, "Look at my win-loss record. I don't deserve a shot." And you know what? He's absolutely right. He doesn't deserve a shot at the title. You're just gonna make him lose again and have his win-loss record go even lower. So what's the point of this? What does Kevin Owens get out of this match here? The crowd wanted it. And they were saying you deserve it, but what does he get out of it? Is where I'm at. Like he's just gonna lose again.
I think it would have made more sense to bring someone from the pending free agents from AEW, like a Ricky Starks incoming. But because honestly, I can't think of anybody you can actually put. The person that comes to mind that should get the first as a rematch is Roman. But Roman is more preoccupied with the whole
Yeah,
tribal
bloodline
chief shit.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna take him off for a couple months, but we shall see where this goes. But any final thoughts on SummerSlam overall or anything with WWE?
Well, I thought that the pay per view was a decent pay per view. It wasn't like top notch, and it was pretty predictable for the most part. Like I think you went perfect on your
I
predictions. The
did.
only one that I got wrong was Bailey winning in the cash in. So I mean, there was I'd give it it was I guess a B pay per view.
Yeah, I would say
I
B
thought.
minus. I think overall it would have been a B plus had that CM Punk Drew McIntyre been better.
I mean, it wasn't. It's not like it wasn't okay. I can understand with him being rusty. I didn't like, how I felt going in about the Braun Breaker Sami Zayn. I didn't
Yeah.
even think the match. It should have been a rematch instead of Braun Breaker, for Sami Zayn instead of Braun Breaker going for it again. Because why does he deserve 2 shots in a row? But other than that, in the Nia Jax Bailey one, I just think that Bailey's run was lackluster.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Nia Jax has a better run. But other than that, the other matches that I thought were pretty good. I thought that the pay per view overall was a pretty good pay per view.
The only thing I would have done probably or change were two things. No, I'm sorry, three things. One, not even bother with Braun Breaker and same thing that should have happened to the previous PLE. Two, Jelly Roll making his fucking WWE debut, but give an amazing choke slam to Austin Theory. Though my man did the what was the five knuckle shuffle on him. He somehow took the bump and got back up. But that wasn't worth talking in my opinion. What should have done three debut the White Six. I think this would have been the right place to put it, but for a reason they decided not to. So whatever.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the Jelly Roll thing, it didn't make all that much sense to me. I thought that I didn't know what to think of it, if I'm being honest. The choke slam was great though. Austin Theory took a hell of a choke
Hell
slam.
yeah, he did. Give my man props. Like the guy, Austin Theory, like is so. To me, he's kind of underrated because they don't even know how to use him correctly. But the guy has a hell of a backstory, and I don't understand why they don't lean onto that. But whatever. What do I know about booking? But anyways, yeah, I have nothing else to add. I think the next pay per view coming up for WWE is
Bash in
Bash in
Berlin.
Berlin. Another fucking European pay per view. I swear to God.
Look, they getting that money. I ain't mad at them. Plus, I'm not mad at the fact I kind of like it because a lot of these places don't get, wrestling as much as we do here in the States, and the crowd gives that energy because they don't know when it's gonna come back. So I appreciate when they go to places, and the places in the countries that they go to are just excited for wrestling,
Yeah.
because it elevates the PLE. I was about to say the pay per view. It elevates the PLE that you're watching. So even a bad PLE or even a bad pay per view on AEW's part, I don't use I don't usually mention them
Mm-hmm.
to different companies when we're talking about another company, but for both of those companies, the fact that they're going across to the other continents and giving people wrestling, I think that is great. Just on the simple fact that, like I said, the crowds are so hyped
Yeah.
for wrestling because they don't get it as often, that sometimes we get lackluster crowds here in the States because they've worn out certain places.
Mm-hmm.
When you get those people overseas, it's like when they go to England or they go to Australia or something like that, it's kind of like when they come to New York or Philly or Chicago, where you feel the energy of the
Yeah.
crowd.
For sure.
You really need that, because I think that the crowd, like one thing that I learned from the pandemic era is that the crowd really, really, really makes it whole. It really brings that energy. It makes a bad match mediocre. It makes a mediocre match good. It makes a good match great.
Yep.
It makes a great match outstanding.
Yep.
So when you have crowds that are really, really, really behind the product because they're so starved for it, it just feels like it's special. It feels like it's important. So I like when they go across seas, and I like even the Saudi crowd. I appreciate, like, I know they call it blood money and all this other stuff. I think that they enjoy it, so it makes the PLE or the pay per view just
Yep.
makes it much, much better.
Yeah, I guess to add on to that, good example of what you said as far as making a good match into a great match, like Hogan Rock at WrestleMania 17. That was not Meltzer gave that like a 3-star rating. That Toronto crowd was amazing. That like was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my opinion, but he gave it a low rating. But same thing with the Puerto Rico crowd with Backlash.
Yes.
Great. That
Yes.
France crowd with Backlash was unbelievable. I think with the phenomenal chant with AJ Styles looked so confused what they were chanting, but I think that I thought originally that Puerto Rico crowd was gonna be the hardest one to beat, but France took them this year, and we'll see how Berlin does. But Next up for them will be Berlin Bash. I don't think I can do that one unless we do a 3 a.m. recording. I don't think Dee's gonna want to do that.
Oh
I'm not gonna see.
Jesus!
So it's a Saturday morning PLE. So I don't think we can do it. Unfortunately, my schedule may prevent me from doing it, but either we'll come up with something. Either D will do it, or I'll do it by myself. I may just
It
have
will
D.
make it happen somehow.
We'll try to make it happen. We will, as far as do the prediction show for AEW All In at Wembley. That one we will have as far as the prediction show and recap. So bear with us. I'm trying to work on the schedule. D has been very patient with me. I apologize for any delays, but if we're late, blame me.
Yeah, we're getting it. We're getting it together, folks. We're sorry that we haven't been on our best. It's just been prediction shows for the most part, but we're trying to get you more content. We're gonna get back to trying to do the state of wrestling and things like that. Just got to bear with us. Let us get our feet back underneath us, and yeah, we'll have more content for
Yeah,
you.
a couple. And speaking of adding more content, we do have the NFL coming up. We do have the draft. Our 3DXL draft. We'll have that as far as full recording for everyone. And I think I'll say this now. In the future, if we can get up to 1,000 subs or something, we may possibly do a video recording. That's something me and D are talking about, but we kind of have to get up there. But I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Last thing I want to add is, yeah, I think I'll do more as far as NFL content. I'll try to, because we're big advocates of the NFL. I'll try to implement some fantasy, maybe some DraftKings. That will be on me though, but no promises. I'll try, but no promises. But anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I just appreciate everybody for the constant support and listening, the likes, the follows, everything that you guys do. We're gonna just try to do more.
Absolutely. We love you all. We love you too, Chris. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. For D, I am Ray. We'll be back. Later, everyone.
Peace.